everybody, this is Stephen Howson, this is Full Time Devils, this is the transfer review. You got me on a chair outside Old Trafford, in the rain again, deal with that. This is the show where we look at everything going on in the world of Manchester United and transfers. We're starting with the ins, and the first one that we've got to talk about today is Paul Pogba. Pogba is the name on everybody's lips, lighting up the Euros, and he's been linked to United constantly since we let him go on a free a few years ago. So a number of newspapers, The Guardian being one, were linking Manchester United to him after there was reporting that Manchester City had dropped their interest. Obviously 2 + 2 = 10, doesn't it, with The Guardian there, that Manchester United will be going after him if City weren't. But we find out today that Real Madrid are the ones that seem to be going for him. This is reported in the Marca and talk from the player agent that Real Madrid are going to go for a world record fee. Now this fits in with Real Madrid's modus operandi, doesn't it? This is what they do every single season. The biggest players available, the biggest names, the biggest transfer fees, all of that fits with how Real Madrid do business. So I would expect that this is probably likely to be going to Real Madrid and not United. If I'm scoring it for Real Madrid, I'm saying 8 out of 10. For United, 2 out of 10. The BBC are reporting that Mkhitaryan's agent says it would be a sin to stop negotiating with Manchester United, which obviously means that there's some sort of negotiations on the go, isn't there? Mkhitaryan's a player that I really like the look of. The guy's got tons of assists and goals in him, which is exactly what we've lacked from that right wing, that right-sided attack sort of position. So this is a player that I wouldn't mind seeing at Old Trafford. Dortmund do occasionally let their players go, but if they don't want to let them go, they are stubborn enough to let them run down their contract and then go for a free. We've seen them do that a few times in recent years. But I think the juicy fee that Manchester United are going to offer to them is going to tempt them this time around, because it's not Bayern Munich that the player's going to for a change. So I'm going to say Mkhitaryan to Manchester United, 7 out of 10. Adam Ounas got everybody in a tither all weekend when he followed Manchester United on Instagram and on Twitter. Now come on people, you're not that stupid, are you? There's no way transfer news is going to be announced on someone's Twitter or Instagram by the fact that they've just started following a club. Think about it now. Now, I'm not saying that this isn't going to happen, because it definitely could happen, but don't get too giddy just over who somebody follows on Twitter. Do you remember the last youngster that we signed from Bordeaux? That didn't go too well, did it? Anyways, I'm going to give this one a solid 2 out of 10. Leonardo Bonucci, now that's a name that does get me excited. 29-year-old centre defender from Juventus is absolutely quality. The sort of experience that Manchester United lack in the back line, but it just doesn't ring too true for me. £30 million rating. United don't really pay that sort of money for someone of this age, except for a striker before you say Robin van Persie. So I don't really see it happening as much as I would love it to happen. If you read the articles, this one's been linked by the Daily Star, which doesn't have the best of track records with transfers. They've linked United, Paris Saint-Germain, City, Chelsea. They're just throwing it all around the place to see if they can get a hit. So I don't think this one's happening at all. I'm going to say 1 out of 10. Somebody that has not lived up to the hype at the Euros is Brahim Mbolo. Linked with Manchester United, the Basel striker has failed to impress anybody who's been scouting him, and I'm sure there's a few of us that have been scouting him for Switzerland's early games in the Euros. Now this kid's been getting linked to us, and Fabrizio Romano has said that Manchester United are negotiating with the player or inquiring about his future plans. Now that says to me that we're just keeping a tab on him. We've not started negotiating with Basel. I'm not sure why we would go for this striker over some of the more obvious areas that we need players. We've got young strikers at the club. We've got a ton of young strikers at the club, and this kid would just come in and be another one of those for me. So I can see us doing it. I don't think it'd be the best move. And the fact that we're not negotiating with Basel yet means that I think this is definitely one that we're just keeping tabs on. Now, clubs do this all the time. Clubs will look around Europe, they'll put tabs on players. If you listen to Arsene Wenger, he's got tabs on every player that's signed for every other club except for Arsenal. So I think this is just a case of that. United are keeping a tab on him to see how he develops. As for us signing him this summer, don't think that's going to happen, but it could do, so I'm going to say 4 out of 10. That was the ins, here's the outs. The first ones that we've got to talk about today on the outs is legendary winger Ryan Giggs. Giggs' career at Manchester United does seem to be drawing to a close. If reports are to be believed, by the time you're watching this, it might have already happened. Linked with the Nottingham Forest manager's job, linked with a Bolton job, linked with a whole host of other managerial appointments. Ryan Giggs is sure to be going elsewhere. It seems that Jose Mourinho doesn't want him as part of the backroom staff at Manchester United. And for me, I think it's time that Ryan Giggs goes and proves what he's got, and then we can see whether he's good enough to be one day Manchester United manager. 10 out of 10. One of the outs that's getting loads of talk and has been for a few months is, stop raining, I don't even need this, is Phil Jones. Now Phil Jones has been linked with a move away all the time, and especially with the signing of Eric Bay, there's loads of thought that Phil Jones is one definitely going out of the door. Injury prone, hardly ever plays, but it seems that Jose Mourinho likes him, is going to keep faith in him and going to give him a place in the squad next season. That's absolutely mental. For me, when I was watching the under-21s towards the end of the season, Roshan Williams was showing Phil Jones how to defend, covering up for his mistakes, and looked like an overall better player. Physically better, mentally better, played the game better. Absolutely ludicrous decision to try and keep Phil Jones, because he is definitely going to limit the opportunities that the likes of Tuan Zabi, Fosu Mensah and Roshan Williams are going to get in the first team. So for me, I'd like to ship him on, but when it comes to someone staying or going, the chances always have to be with them staying, don't they? So I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. Everybody's been busy watching the Euros. All the lads are getting excited about transfers and that. Let's see what all the boys are saying in United on YouTube.
As the Euros and Copa America continue to steal the headlines in the football media today, Manchester United and Jose Mourinho seem to be keeping themselves quite busy over the summer transfer period, with the latest news coming out from Bild suggesting that Manchester United have made contact with 19-year-old Swiss sensation Breel Embolo from FC Basel, another forward, young, attacking player filled with potential.
Breel Embolo is an attacking midfielder, a striker or a winger, so we could fill the gap which we had this year on the right midfielder's position. He plays with a lot of tempo and is good in 1v1. He uses his body in the right way, but I doubt he's ready yet for the Premier League because he played in Switzerland and the Swiss League isn't as hard as the Premier League. So if we could loan him out, that would be very good for him.
Mkhitaryan to Manchester United, a player who I would love to see Manchester United sign.
Hey everyone, it's Mr. Flying Pig HD here. Juventus would be apparently happy to let Paul Pogba go for a world record fee. Manchester United are in the running to sign Paul Pogba, but for £85+ million, I'm not so sure if we'd be better off going out there and signing a couple, 2 or 3 top quality players for that sort of money.
Played predominantly on the right hand side last season. It's great at free kick taking, so we wouldn't have to see no more Daley Blind taking corners.
Although you can't put a price on quality, Manchester United are crying out for world-class talent at the moment, and Paul Pogba is certainly that.
But my question to you guys is this: do you guys still want to see Jose Mourinho continuously signing attacking players, or do you want to see a little bit of a mix-up between midfield and defense as well? I personally think it's always good to include a new signing, always filled with potential or filled with experience, as it'll always make an addition, a great addition to the current squad that we have.
It's lightning quick, would be perfect for Manchester United. I just hope that we can get him. His agent said that he wants to come to Manchester United.
We also need to keep in mind that we do have players like Memphis who still hasn't been able to show his full potential, who personally I think he still has what it takes to bloom and blossom in the Premier League. And Timothy Fosu Mensah is another great midfielder that I think we can really incorporate into the starting 11 next season.
That's what them lot saying in United on YouTube. Here is my favourite part of the week. Bullshit bingo! Some absolutely quality bullshit headlines in there. Thank you to everyone who's wrote them. I noticed some journalists absolutely furiously scribbling those away. Metro. Anyways, thank you if you got involved. Thank you to everyone who got involved in United on YouTube. Thank you to you lot at home for watching. Make sure you drop us a like, hit us up in the comments, but I've got one more job for you before I tell you to subscribe. I'm going to drop a link to this in the description below. If you see a transfer rumour anywhere by the BBC, by Sky, by anybody, any of the big outlets, make sure you reply to it with this Vine and tag Full-Time Devils. Let's fill the internet up with this Vine of Jose Mourinho. Thank you for watching. Drop us a subscribe and I'll see you soon.
This is Full-Time Devils and it's time for another huge debate today. A debate so big it makes Steve Bruce look like he's been on Atkins. A debate so big that we could only actually fit 2 contributors in it.